We're back. Dan from WordWorks is here. OEM fuel tank is back in. It's not like my car with a fuel cell and all the custom type of angle. This is where the balance between custom, OEM, restoration, resto mod, full customization comes in. This client wants it to be streetable in the sense of being able to actually get in and go, and nothing beats a 15-gallon tank, right? So OEM, he doesn't care about the underside. It's not a show car in that regard. Picked up all the OEM fuel components rather than a cell, and running full 15-gallon capability. OEM hard lines will adapt at the front brake setup that we have, etc, etc. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. I'm about to clean this block and get it ready to go back in. That's where we are. Dan from WordWorks is in the building. Let's go. So Dan, the man with the master plan, is putting the good old-fashioned elbow grease into the transmission, while this guy just floats in the air and waves it around like you just don't care. Because you gotta do it nice, or do it twice. Alright, so that's about where it is right now. Channels and circuits and modules and relays, and Ryan's working on it to clean it all up and get everything situated in all of the ways that you will never ever see underneath the dash. So that's where we are at the moment. I'm working on the Downstar hardware, replacing certain ones right now, billet firewall plugs, the M6s, some of the M8s, and just chipping away at all of these different things. But we put it all back in and begin reassembly. But we're a long way from there. So big shout out to the homie Dan from WordWorks for coming through to help. Of course, Ryan from Rywire for the time and the space. And we got to just keep on pushing. So let's get it. I'm sitting down right here. At this point, what I'm gonna do is start to address the brake components. So big shout out Brian at Fast Brakes for putting together this kit based off of the ideas and sizing specifications and fitment capabilities, etc. So what it is Spec 37 Willwood 2-piece rotors. These are the hats. I wanted everything to be very low key, so it's black and slotted. I'm about to start assembling these. All right, we've got hardware, well, holes for the safety wire, and we're running a 6-piston Willwood setup right here. So black on black, not trying to be bright, not trying to be fancy. That's what's gonna go on right now. I'm about to assemble these. A Loctite 271, pin them in there, put the safety wire through, and get them situated to go onto the vehicles. Forgive the crazy fan noise, but this is what we have. This is the first one. Willwood 6-piston, 2-piece, Loctited, torqued up. Bam, good to go. This side is done. Time to go to the other side for this 12.9-inch Fast Brakes Willwood 6-piston big brake kit for the front. So I'm gonna do the other side. Let's go over here, see Dan real quick. Dan was cleaning this up. Little fresh action with the Downstar hardware. Gotta put a drain bolt. We gotta clean this up a little bit. New starter, because why not? New earthing. So you got the new starter, freshly painted block. I'm not a big fan of painting blocks, but at the same time, this one was so oxidized from Japan. Salt, snow, age. Steel brushes, wool, elbow grease didn't do it, so we decided to clean it thoroughly and give it a little, you know what I'm saying? Dan hit it with the, so we're getting some of that Downstar situated. Everything's looking fresh, adocious. A little extra titanium action there. This side, ready to go. Clean it, and then we'll put on the front big kit on this side. Let's go. changing the oil pan. What it is aluminum pans, no gasket, Honda Bond. Put that up there and then fill it with some Torco SR5R. You know what I'm saying? So let me get this situated. Ryan has mocked up the harness. Transmission grounds are mocked up. A couple of things like that. And I'm gonna finish Honda bonding this, put it up so it seals up tonight. Tomorrow, lines, brake, fuel, oil, cooling, etc. Make it one step closer to being able to fire it up. I know it looks pretty much the same as it just did, but there's mocking up water lines, fuel lines, NPT, adapting -3, -4, -6, vacuum, you name it. There's just a lot of stuff going on right here, but we're getting there step by step. Ryan is actually inside while I've been trying to figure out different turbo plumbing. Ryan is in here. Let me walk over here and show you guys. And he's doing programming for the Rywire PDM setup and the aim dash. So you see the aim dash over there. You got schematics, and you got Ryan right here. What up, Ryan?
What's up?
So why don't you just kind of break it down for people as to what you have to program? Like if they're asking to themselves, why do you have to program anything?
So the PDM was already pretty much mapped. I did have to change a few things because we're not going to use a CAN keypad. It's just going to be all on the steering column.
Yeah.
So I changed a bunch of the inputs and stuff and built that out, and I did that earlier today. And then I just did aim dash a minute ago. Just gave it like a basic infinity protocol, and then nothing was coming through until I sent the data through the AEM Infinity and sent that to the ECU. And then now we got some data on the screen. And this is the layout I chose just for right now.
Yeah.
But like, you know, a lot of these are kind of off. It's just like default settings because these sensors aren't plugged in. Like
at the moment,
oil pressure's not plugged in and fuel pressure's not plugged in. ECT is plugged in and it's 68 degrees. It's actually accurate.
Yep.
Lambda's not plugged in, so it's just Lambda, you know, 1.0.
Sure.
I'm just interested in seeing that these numbers are coming through, and that's what's important right now, that the numbers are actually coming through. And then I'm setting them up on my wizard right here.
Yes.
So I'm just putting like air temp, coolant temp, map, fuel pressure, and I'm just calling out where they are and then sending that data to the ECU. I haven't done any like drive-by-wire setup yet because the intake manifold's still not on right now, but when we do put it on, we can plug that in and I can set the pedal and I can do all that stuff. So there's actually a good amount that I could do when we add a few more things and plug all the rest of the stuff into the engine.
There you go. That's an idea of what's going on when you run a standalone such as an AEM Infinity and then a dash. So the wiring has to be able to communicate with the AIM dash, the Infinity, the sensors, etc. And then the pedal he's talking about is because the car has been converted to drive-by-wire. So I'm using a Bosch drive-by-wire throttle body, and in this case, this is a specific year Subaru BRZ drive-by-wire pedal. For all my Honda guys, the reason why you're asking about why I want a Subaru BRZ, it's actually the angulation. It was decently close to the way the Prelude throttle pedal would sit against the firewall, and therefore making it easier to have each pedal of the three be within the same plane when you press your feet, you know? So that's what's down there. See, feet, Ryan's feet, pedals.
Gotta take my shoes off when I enter the car, the clean car, right?
Exactly. Running a hybrid shifter. Shout out to David and them at Hybrid. But when it comes to electronics and PDM wiring, AM Infinity setup, Ryan is on the job, while I am the one that needs to finalize what's going on in the engine bay. The intake manifold obviously has to be situated, fuel, vacuum lines, etc., etc., etc. That's where we are right now. I want to show you guys a couple of things that are actually coming together. This is our custom cam trigger kit. The only other one is the one on my car, designed in ARM. And for those wondering, it is not the same as other people's kits, only because the way this car is set up is it's reading off cam and crank, not just the cam. Does that make sense? So it's not really the same as other ones because it's reading top and bottom, not just in one place. Crimped line for the overflow and a couple accents that I wanted to do, and it kind of worked itself out. Black cap, and I have a black vibrant performance cap here. So you have these accents of brushed aluminum, black, and metal. And then with the inadvertent black accents, new starter, new alternator. You know what I'm saying? So you have the slave, you have these various places where black is inevitable. So it's this whole theme of metal and black. And obviously the hot side is titanium. So the way that color plays itself out against the Electron Blue and all the black and silver is what I had in my mind as far as, you know, visually popping. And the times we've mocked it up, I think it's gonna look pretty amazing. So anyways, Nuke performance fuel pressure regulator, the Rywire plate right here. We're mocked up the harness. You can see the labeling, Rywire.com, Big Mike Edition harness, one-off type stuff right there. And that's where we are right now. So back to getting plumbing right, back to getting vacuum right. Gotta get back to it, so. Okay, so Mitch, let's talk about your process real quick. So you've cut the hood.
Full prep clay bar, and there was actually a lot of overspray.
Okay.
In the custom paint job. Go over that quite a few times after finding it. Side skirts and whatnot. And after all the shrinkage from over the years and of it curing, just actually a nice machine cut.
Yeah.
Leveled up the clear coat naturally just by getting, I was just going for the imperfections, the swirls and the holograms and the spider webs, and just by naturally trying to remove those, it knocked down the texture quite a bit. And now we're gonna follow it up with one more step to kind of finesse it and focus more on the clarity and the gloss.
Yeah.
And that perfect finish. Now that we've leveled about, I'd say about 90% of it.
Yeah.
That's just all I have time for today. It's amazing compared to what it was.
See, there we are. Technique details getting down on this build right now to bring back life to the paint. Okay, Mitch, so I know you're not really a big fan or used to being in front of the camera. Give us a walkthrough of, you know, you've done my car, a lot of Ryan's cars. Just kind of name some of the types of cars you do, and then we can get into what you did on this particular build.
Pretty much work on anything and everything. Mainly specialize in like older air-cooled Porsche stuff. That's more of like what I'm into and main targeted audience really. But and then we got the, you know, the custom stuff and whatnot. Just basically prep this for SEMA. I only had one day. With that one day, you know, you only have 8 hours to do so much. I have my helper, but you know, I have to be on the paint the entire time, the entire 8 hours. Really, this paint was not too bad, but I got away with a complete paint correction in just that time, 8 hours. So usually it takes about 2 days. Sometimes it could take up to like 4 or 5 days, depending on what car it is, condition. Like your Prelude, that took what, 2 days?
Yep.
At one point, and multiple sessions on the engine. Just tedious hours. But this is a typical 2-step paint correction. All the edges masked off, all the delicate, you know, curves and angles were all perfectly polished out with the correct diameter polisher. So it was done under LED lighting too. So we made sure that it was done safely. But the paint's nice. There's no burn marks. There's nothing bad. No bad paint on this car. It was really nice. It was easy to work with too.
Okay, so paint correction means you cut it to get rid of swirls and scratches?
Yeah, so basically you are leveling, your first step would be the most abrasive step, basically to level the clear coat, safely removing imperfections.
Yep.
Defects, swirls, light scratches, heavy scratches too, if you know what you're doing. And then after that, you follow it up with like a finishing step that would basically just, you know, finesse and gloss up the clear coat to perfection, just the high shine that you want. Followed by, you know, any type of protection. I usually do a ceramic coating or you know, silica sealant or of some sort and go from there. But yeah, this is just a 1-day deal. So if I had 2 days on this, it would most likely be a lot better, but I didn't have much time.
Well, the paint's glowing from here. Mitch, Technique Details, the homie. He always does most of all of our cars and will for the foreseeable future. So shout out to Mitch for getting down on the paint correction on this.
Let's get the head.
And then we're gonna put it down. You guys will be able to see how clean that is. It's glowing. That blue is glowing. So now I need to finish putting the damn car back together. So shout out to Mitch, Technique Details. About to put the titanium downpipe back on right now.